In this video, I'm going to sew together our Modern Joggers pattern, and I'm going to do the cuffed ankle version, like this one. So we'll start by cutting out our fabric, like always. For this jogger, I'm going to be using this French terry fabric, which is a cotton spandex blend, and it's a medium to heavyweight fabric, and that works really good for these joggers. So your first pieces are going to be your legs, and those get cut on the fold, so there's two opposites. And then we'll cut out our back pocket and knee patch and pockets all in the same fabric. And then I'll do my waistband and ankle cuff with my rib knit here. So our first sewing step is going to be to sew in our pockets. And to do that, you'll take this pocket piece here, which is the pocket lining, and line it up alongside that curve on the leg, and that's going to be right sides together. So when you place the right sides together, you'll see the back of the French terry here, and then you're just going to serge it closed, or serge it together just along that arc on both of the legs. Now that you have your pocket lining serged on, you'll just turn it towards the inside of the pant. And then you'll place your pocket backing right sides together on top of that. And then you just have to serge them together around that inner curve. So from the outside, the pocket will be finished. Now that you have your pockets assembled, you can choose to top stitch this section here, which will just make the pocket look a little more flat. And then you're going to want to do a straight stitch along the side here and on the top area, just to hold those pockets in place so that they're evenly caught in the seam. Your next step is going to be to put the knee patches on. So you'll get your knee patches, and they are directional, so this will fit that curve. So you'll just flip it up so it's right sides together and line it up against those two notches that you clipped on the leg. And sew it with a straight stitch at about 1/4 inch across the top. Next, you're just going to fold that knee patch down, and you're going to fold the bottom edge under about 1/4 inch. And just pin it in place. And after that's done, you'll just bring it to the sewing machine and do a top stitch, straight stitch across right on the edge of that fold, across the bottom and across the top to secure that seam again. And you'll do the same on the other leg. Okay, now that your knee patches are on, you'll just set that aside for now. And we're gonna place our back pockets. So you'll just open up your back legs. And I like to just cut this piece out on the pattern piece to find my placement for those pockets. So first you're going to want to hem your pockets. You're just going to serge the top edge of that pocket and then fold it down maybe 3/4 of an inch and top stitch it to hem it. After you top stitch your pocket, then you're just going to have to iron in your edges about 1/4 of an inch all the way around those raw ends now. So after it's ironed, then you can place it on that back leg by using that as a guide. So you can just put it right in that hole. And then pin it in place there. And to finish it now, you're just going to need to top stitch around it from that top to the other side. Now that you have your back pocket sewn on, we're going to sew the front and the back legs together. So you just find the matching front and lay it right sides together along the back. And you're going to serge the side seam first. You just make sure that your pocket's in there evenly and it doesn't get folded over. And then after that, then you'll pull the inseam together and serge the inseam together. And you do the same for both legs. Now that you have both legs sewn together, you're going to take one and turn it right side out, like that. And you're going to place that inside out, or that right side out leg inside the inside out leg. So that the rise is lined up and they're right sides together. And to attach them now, you'll just serge the two legs together from the front all the way down and back up the back in a big U shape. So after those are attached, you'll just pull both of those legs out like that. And next you need to attach your waistband. So just find your elastic piece and your waistband, and you're just going to overlap your elastic by about 1/2 inch and secure stitch it in a big N shape. And then you'll serge your waistband together along this short end here. So now that you have your waist elastic and waistband sewn together, you'll just put the waist elastic over top of it and fold the waistband around it. So that the elastic is enclosed inside the waistband. And then, with your pants inside out still, place the waistband inside the waist area. And line up the waistband seam here with the back waist seam. And just pin those 3 layers of fabric together. And then with the waistband notch in the center front, you'll just match that to the center front waist. And then you're just going to have to stretch that waistband to fit your waist and serge it on while keeping that elastic out of the seam. After your waistband is sewn, then just pull it out. And check that you got your pockets in there evenly and that there's no holes. And then you just have to hem the leg. So I am going to do the cuffs on this. If you did the version without the cuffs, you're just going to have to fold the leg up about 3/4 inch and top stitch it to hem it. But if you did the cuff, you'll find your cuffs and you're going to have to fold them in half parallel to that grain line so the stretch is going horizontal, and serge down those ends. After sewing them together, then you'll just fold them in half so that that seam is folded onto itself. Just like this. And then you can see the cuff is formed now. And you just place that in the leg hem. So this is the front and this is the back. So you just place that seam towards the back, and that folded edge will go towards the inside. Just place it inside the leg, line up all those raw edges, and you just have to stretch that cuff a little bit and then serge it on all the way around. So after you have inserted the cuffs, you can turn your pants right side out. And your cuffs should look like this. And if you choose to insert a drawstring, I just cut mine out of the same fabric, about 1/2 inch thick. What you're going to do is just snip a little hole in the first layer of the waistband fabric, or 2 holes about 1 inch apart, just right at the center. And these should be very tiny. And then just thread the drawstring through with the safety pin. And then after that's threaded through, you're going to want to do a secure stitch on the back of the waistband on top of the drawstring and the elastic. So after you've securely stitched it in place, then you're just going to want to trim it to length and knot the ends of the drawstring. And then your joggers are done.